Back with Bobby and JJ Radio. We're continuing our conversation with Mr. Rob Robbins and Lee Imbimbo. Rob does design and Lee is an architect. So we're talking about your niche, and it's really helping business owners that are looking to either grow or contract the space that they're in, and figuring out up front what's the best course of action. So let's go ahead, sir.
Well, I mean, ultimately, all of these decisions are an investment decision.
Sure.
And I would say one of the biggest things that we probably share, between a realtor and the design professionals involved, is how does the client in the end realize the investment they're making and quantify that in terms of their overall business plan.
I think it's done a lot on the landlord side. I think representing landlords, we say like, hey, we have this tenant, we're going to give him 3 months of free rent. So after you pay commissions and give his rent abatement and you put in money for their tenant improvement, you're going to start to make money around this particular month. And then they actually look at the spreadsheets over time. I don't think it's really done on the buyer side. I'm sorry, on the tenant side. And I think that's probably what you guys are filling that void.
But there's two things that are driving it. One is money, the other one's time. And the money issue is obviously important, but the thing that drives your time out the window are clients who don't make decisions quickly.
Definitely.
So when you can actually get a client to make a decision faster with more surety, and they're not coming back with questions over and over again, you're saving an enormous amount of time.
Plus, it's good cop, bad cop, right?
Well, and the other thing, no, it's good cop, good cop. In this case, there's no bad cop.
It's a good cop, practical cop.
Right.
I guess that's a better one.
But you're showing them a better way. For instance, there's a government contractor I did some design work for not too long ago, and they were very...
The Air Force?
No, but they did a lot of work for the Air Force. But they were pretty sure they wanted to just stay in the space that they were in and keep everything the same, because they didn't want to do any of this upfront cost, and construction's expensive and all this kind of stuff. And they were like, we just don't have the money for that, but we need some cost savings in our facilities because it's killing the overhead and all this kind of stuff. So I looked at the situation, and the problem was they had all these inefficiencies in their space layout. Mm-hmm. They were taking 250 square feet per FTE. And we were like, look, you can go in, you can rearrange this, you can have a better arrangement, and you can actually go down from 250 to 190. Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's going to cost you a fortune. It's going to cost this much money, but you're going to be able to shave off over 40% of your rentable square feet. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The cost of that rentable square feet is so much more than the money it's going to cost up front for you to do that. And they're like, okay, well, so they came up with some of the money, but we also went back to the landlord and said, we want to hire tenant improvement. And the landlord said, well, you're going to have to pay for it. We're going to roll it into the lease. So we actually paid higher lease rates, but we paid higher lease rates on a significantly less number of square feet. And the other thing that we did was we negotiated from 5 years to 7 years. So because we went from 5 years to 7 years, they chipped in, we chipped in, they also upped the rent, but it still made total economic sense. And then we had to buy new furniture to fit the new space. Well, when you have the smart designers working for you, we can find places where they have 0% interest. And if you know how to use tax law, if you're an S Corp and you're getting a Schedule K, you can actually write all of that off. And from a tax perspective, depending on your bracket, it can actually be a cash flow positive versus what you're actually paying in the lease. So we were able to show them not only how you can do better on the lease, but also how you can do better on the furniture purchase. And then their employees moved in. They had brand new space. It was gorgeous. It was efficient. It was just what they wanted.
It won awards.
And here's the other thing. Before they remodeled, 50% of the people in that building could not tell whether it was raining or sun shining outside. By the time we were done, every person had a view of the outside. It was incredible. Very happy.
So everyone benefited from...
Everyone. The landlord got a longer lease, got a much better space. The commercial real estate agent walked away with more money in his pocket, and the employees were thrilled.
And the tenant ultimately ended up with savings in the both the short term and long term.
Their cash flow, actually, their net outflow of cash for facilities went down, even though they went in a massive upgrade of space. And it was all because of good decisions that were made early that were followed up by great design.
So if you're a commercial real estate agent or obviously any business owner that's looking for some space, you need to contact Rob and Lee. So again, you can contact Lee here at 210-403-3636 or Rob at 512-797-9301. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back with Bobby and Jay-Z Radio.